Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I am your host, John Herold. Hope you all are having a happy Wednesday so far. Should be a good news day. I think the president is meeting with President Trump is meeting with the president of the Republic of Poland. That meeting might be over with, but I got a couple good clips from there, some other headlines. I do need to address something here at the beginning, but before we get into that, I want to get a quick word from the sponsors of today's show. How's the chat doing? See a lot of the same old faces. You guys are great. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Also, don't forget to tune in tonight, Power Hour. Me and Bernie Bright, we got a pretty good show planned out for you guys. But yeah, let's get a quick word from the sponsor of today's show. First up, we got Pet Club.
Science proves that a healthy immune system is the body's first defense against the smallest of ailments to the most catastrophic. Coriolus versicolor is the most sought-after, all-natural supplement for both humans and pets to help boost the immune system. There are over 400 studies worldwide on its effectiveness in humans, including Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, MD Anderson Cancer Center, and now from the University of Pennsylvania School of Veterinary Medicine. Together, we can help reverse this terrible tide now plaguing your loved ones and give them the immune-boosting supplements that they need.
Thank you to Pet Club. You guys are awesome. And we also got a sponsor today from Tamarack Garden. I met these guys at GART in Deadwood, and just fantastic people, fantastic products. We use their mosquito little lotion stick that they have anytime we have a mosquito bite or bee bite. Actually, we've gotten a couple of those in this house the last couple of weeks. It works like a charm. It's incredible. Introducing Tamarack Gardens, handcrafted herbal remedies, teas, and skincare made with weeds, wildflowers, and wild harvested herbs. Is it herbs or herbs? I'm stupid. In the Pacific Northwest, their products will heal your skin, boost collagen, lighten dark spots, and slow aging. Plus, it is safe for babies, grandmas, and everyone in between. From salves for headaches, bug bites, and arthritis to supplements for liver and kidney health, they harness God's bounty for your health and to keep you out of the doctor's office. They're from North Idaho. Again, I met these people in person. Fantastic people, fantastic story. I cannot recommend their products enough. TamarackGarden.com. Use promo code Badlands. You'll get free shipping on orders over $35. That's TamarackGarden.com, promo code Badlands. Both my girlfriend got stung by a bee recently. The stuff like made the mark like disappear in an hour or something nuts. My son, same thing. First bee bite of the summer for him. On his finger, I should almost show you guys a picture. It was like super swollen, and like the bee sting spot. And we put that stuff on there, and it was like gone within an hour. It's nuts. Great products, great people. They're exactly the type of people that you want to be supporting. So, all right, I do need to address something pretty important. I've been made aware that there's been some rumors floating around that soft disclosure is the best thing to happen to skincare since the discovery of shea butter. And that's a very subjective statement. And I don't know if people are just jealous of shea butter or stupid, bored, whatever. And so it's difficult for me to comment on that. But I will say the feedback that we're getting about soft disclosure is pretty remarkable. It's all been positive. It's almost been too positive. Like, as a business owner, you're always looking for ways to improve your products and improve what you're providing your customers. And when you can't even get like constructive criticism because your products are so good, it makes it difficult. Many people are saying that it's the best lotion brand that's ever been created. And they tell me, John, like, this lotion is so good. Nobody could have created a lotion like this. Nobody but you could have done it. So I just want to say thank you and encourage those of you who haven't tried it yet to get yourself a bottle of lotion or the tallow bar or the deodorant. Go to softdisclosure.com. And big shout out also to Willow and Farm and Cheryl for putting this stuff together. For real, the products are amazing. The support has been great, and you won't regret it. So thank you all for your attention to this lather. How's that? That was Jordan Sather's idea. Thank you for your attention to this lather. I'll leave it to John to mislabel a wasp as a bee. The war on bees is real. Dang it, last night I forgot to... There's an underground wasp hive or beehive, whatever they are, the same thing. I mean, I know it's not actually the same thing, but it's real. And we got the spray to spray on it, didn't do anything. They're still everywhere. And so now we're supposed to put like a see-through Tupperware container over it and just like let them starve. And I don't know, I'm skeptical that'll work, but I got to do that before my kids get back here. Anyway, let's start chipping away at the news today, guys. First up, no update on the Doge website. And there is one update on the presidential website. It's the nominations that were sent to the Senate. I did go through the list of names, and there's two of them that stuck out. Obviously, Stephen Moran. He's been nominated to be a board on the board of governors of the Federal Reserve. We've been talking about this for a while. This is the guy that wrote the Mar-a-Lago Accords. Those of you who are familiar with the show or Badlands know who this guy is. The other name, Sergio Gore of Florida. He has been nominated to be the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the United States of America to the Republic of India. And why I think this is interesting is because this is the guy who used to be in charge at the White House Presidential Personnel Office. That's the job that Dan Scavino is taking over. And now, how many times have we seen somebody get canned essentially from Trump's cabinet or a crucial role in Trump's administration and get sent to just be an ambassador somewhere else? Like, this might be the third or fourth person now that this has happened to. I can't even think of any off the top of my head. The original NSA. What was that guy? The former congressman. Why can't I think of his name? Is it Mike? No. Somebody in the chat will know. Oh, 67 crash. There's always two entries to an underground hive. You'll need to find both entries. Oh, that's not going to be fun. How is that possible? It's not like in the near... Oh, Mike Waltz. Thank you, Evander. Appreciate that. Mike Waltz, yeah, he got fired, and he's an ambassador. Same thing happened with Sergio Gore now. It's like we say, like, everybody who dies that we think is important in the the conspiracy world, truth world, they all just go to WITSEC. Everybody who gets fired from the Trump administration goes to be an ambassador. We have a couple of those sayings now, so pretty funny. Got this from yesterday. Donald Trump earlier this morning, or was this yesterday? Yeah, this was yesterday evening. Earlier this morning, on my orders, U.S. military forces conducted a kinetic strike against positively identified Tren de Aragua narco-terrorists in the Southcom area of responsibility. TDA is a designated foreign terrorist organization operating under the control of Nicolas Maduro, responsible for mass murder, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, and acts of violence and terror across the United States and Western Hemisphere. I need to adjust my screen size here. There we go. The strike occurred while terrorists were at sea in international waters transporting illegal narcotics heading to the United States. The strike resulted in 11 terrorists killed in action. No U.S. forces were harmed in the strike. Please let this serve as notice to anybody even thinking about bringing drugs into the United States of America. Beware. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Let's watch the video. It's a pretty small boat. And I wonder, like, where was it actually coming from and where is it headed? I don't know if they've given details of the actual bombing here or strike, because I can't imagine that boat of that size would be able to make it, 200, 300, 400 miles? I don't know much about boats, but I'm just assuming. It's like, what are the details? Where is it coming from? Where is it going to? How did they confirm that was narco-terrorists? But as far as I know, this is essentially like the first strike that the United States has done now with the military going against the cartels. There's that huge push recently of sending a couple destroyer ships down to the region, and so we knew this was coming. I knew it was inevitable, but as far as I know, this is the first strike that we've seen, and that's interesting. And we got this from Trump. He commented on it today while he was at the White House.
On the boat, you had massive amounts of drugs. We have tapes of them speaking. It was massive amounts of drugs coming into our country to kill a lot of people. And everybody fully understands that. In fact, you see it. You see the bags of drugs all over the boat. And they were hit. Obviously, they won't be doing it again. And I think a lot of other people won't be doing it again when they watch that tape. They're going to say, let's not do this. We have to protect our country, and we're going to. Venezuela's been a very bad actor. They've been, as you know, they've been sending millions of people into our country, many of them Tren de Aragua, some of the worst gangs, some of the worst people anywhere in the world in terms of gangs. And we had some in Washington, D.C. We took care of them very quickly, but they're out of here. They've gone. But Venezuela's been very bad, both in terms of drugs and sending some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world into our country. They emptied out, you don't know this, but they emptied out their prisons in Venezuela, and they emptied them out into the United States of America. And that's part of the problem we have. We're getting them out. We're getting them out rapidly, but it's caused a tremendous problem. And Pete and all of the people that are working very hard to rectify the stupidity of the Biden administration, allowing these people to pour into our country with open borders. We are paying a big price as a country for the incompetence of the Biden administration. But think of it, opened up prisons, drug dealers, drug lords, everything coming out of Venezuela. They said, and we said, we're not going to put up with it anymore. So Venezuela has been one of the worst actors in the whole group, and we have a group of pretty bad actors.
Okay, we have a lot of people in the chat here with some experience with beehives. I'm being told, John, don't cover or seal anything on that hive. Personal experience. If any bees, wasps are outside, they'll swarm trying to get back in. See, my plan was like, I got this. I have three things. The tub that I'm going to put on top. I have this like, I don't even know what it is. It's not like salt, but it's almost looks like flour. Maybe it's like some sort of powder chemical that you pour on the ground. I know it's probably not safe for the environment, but I don't really care about the environment. I'm trying to get the bees away from my house and the backyard where my kids play. And then I also have the spray, and I already tried the spray stuff. It didn't work that great, but my thought is I would like kind of douse the area first with the powder, then put the tub on it, and then put a little more powder around the area, maybe on the tub, so that if bees do swarm, they get whatever the poison stuff is, and they'll die. They'll suffer a death like the 11 Tren de Araguans we just saw, trying to smuggle drugs into our country. So yeah, just another Texan says, for real, yellow jackets are nothing compared to a bumblebee. I don't know. Scheisler, I just ordered more soft disclosure. I want the tallow bar and more lotion. You're gonna love it. Use gasoline, you'll kill them on sight. I'll kill them with fire. Was he leaning on the word actors a little harder than usual? Maybe he was. I mean, the drone footage wasn't that great. I know it was at night. PJ Corgan, how dare you call my face same old, same old? My bad, bro. Stronger Now says the invasion was very organized by the NGOs in our government. That's the part that I'm excited to see exposed. I mean, we've gotten some soft disclosure on some of that, and it's been good, but like I don't think it's been enough. I don't think we've actually seen how the NGOs and our government were complicit in this, even though the administration and Trump and many people have been like pointing to this. Stephen Miller's been a firecracker going after this stuff, talking about how the Biden administration was complicit in what was going on here. So I'm curious to see more of that stuff come out. I think we're getting closer, and I don't even want to say this because I feel like we as a community as a whole have been saying something along these lines for a long time. But with what we got from Trump on Truth Social regarding COVID the other day, with what we're getting from the Rico Grande stuff, we did get a whole document dump from Congress. I'll talk about that. I should talk about that next. That was a joke, but Epstein disclosure, like we seem to be getting closer and closer to some sort of moderate soft disclosure phase. And I'm just curious to see what it's going to be like when we actually get there. There's so many things that I'd love to see checked off that list. And one of them, for everybody else, this one isn't as high on my priority list, not because of the crimes alleged here, because I do think child trafficking is a terrible thing, and anybody who participates in that needs to be exposed and put in jail forever. More so just what I've come to believe this situation is with the Epstein files. I'm basically leaning into what Trump and Kash Patel and all those people have been saying, that it isn't what we thought it was. And it isn't what people portrayed it to be. So the Oversight Committee yesterday, they're back from their break, their summer recess, and they're getting right down to work. Just like they're down to business right away. And they release all subpoenaed documents from the DOJ related to the Epstein file. You can access them here. Now, that's great. I was like, okay, here we go. At least I'll have something to dig through. And we can at least get to the bottom, maybe, of whatever this thing is. And so you click into it, you go to, the files, you click on this. They do have some videos that are pretty terrible. If you click on natives, there's native 6, native 8, native 11, native 12. So we know for sure we're missing native 1 through 5, native 7, and native 9 and 10. But transparency, guys. And like if you click on it, it has, like, this is the video of his house, I believe, one of his houses. There's a video of, I think I saw yesterday, there's a video of, the Epstein cell where he supposedly committed suicide. You have the interview of a victim, I think, in here somewhere. I think it's 12, maybe. Yeah, so there's a couple victim interviews, or maybe this is the same one. I don't know. I didn't listen to the entire thing. But then if you go back to images, now this is where we have a whole bunch of documents, right? Folders 1 through 12. I don't think any numbers are missing in that order. Nope. So click on one, brings you to this page. Instead of uploading a single searchable, easy to comb through or digestible format for these things, they took every single page and uploaded it individually as an image. There are over 33,000 images in this release. You have to click through each one by one. Like, so 26 pages of this, you can't just scroll through. You can't search it. It's difficult to search images. And I know I could upload it to AI and do all this stuff and have AI do the work for it. It's possible that would work. I don't use AI like everybody else does. I'm sure somebody's already done that, which is great. My criticism here is going towards the Oversight Committee, who's like doing this whole thing as a push for transparency. And in my opinion, they're not only grifting on Trump's actual transparency push, but they're also not actually doing anything. Like this is so stupid. If they wanted to put this out and actually do it in the interest of transparency and truth and honesty, they could have released just this part in a much more efficient and easily digestible fashion. That's number one. But then you have these individuals like here, look at this. Nancy Mace leaving whatever. Oh, did you guys lose access to the audio? Let me try this again. I mean, we know how full of shit Nancy Mace is. Shipwreck's gone hard after Nancy Mace. Women crying in public, it's a joke, full of shit. There's another video here. Anna Polina Luna.
Bigger than I think anyone anticipated. We are obviously going to be requesting the SARS reports from Treasury, and also following up on that. There's some very rich and powerful people that need to go to jail. I think everyone's been frustrated as to why that hasn't happened before. But it is very much so a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset working for our adversaries. But also, I think the questions that we have is how much did our own government know about it? And so there's more to follow, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from the chairman momentarily. But I do applaud the victims from coming forward, because we heard from a woman who was as young as 14 years old when she was victimized multiple times by Jeffrey Epstein. So that's hard to hear.
You signed a discharge petition, and asked the discharge petition?
I think that the files will probably be released prior. I don't know why Comer hasn't. I think that he should do it, so we wouldn't even have to come to a vote. But I mean, obviously, I've I've been a huge advocate, even when I was the only one in Congress calling for the release of this file. So I think I'd be happy to, yes. Thank you.
What do they call for the victims? Do they want those files released?
The victims want information to be out there, but they don't want their personal information, I think, for good reason to be out there. So I think from the get-go, even the Attorney General has stated that there's victim information that you have to make sure that's private, being that some of the victims also, too, are as young as 14, that's child pornography. So thank you, guys.
So there you have it. She said that the Jeffrey Epstein's ring is much bigger than anyone anticipated. Why won't you just drop the names then? Just drop the names. If that's true, prove it. God, like, well, this is what's insane. They go in front of the camera, they say all these things. They're trying to like grift off the narrative and you know the disclosure that everybody wants. But the longer they go without like actually showing any truth of this stuff, like, how are we supposed to believe anything they're saying when Trump and everybody else, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, even though I'm not a fan of Pam Bondi, but all these people that have Dan Bongino, not that I trust any of these people, and we can't take what Trump says at face value. I understand that. He's constantly running psyops, but they're all pushing the same thing. It's not what we thought it was. I am kind of piecing through like some of this as I have time. Yesterday, my son had soccer practice. Yes, he signed up for soccer, but I did go to it, and so I kind of got cut off with the research I was doing. Did I even find anything? Oh yeah, here. Let me show you guys this. I did post this yesterday, kind of poking fun at them. I do have a thread on there. I don't know if I'll add to it or not. I really only posted one thing in response to it, but this is the thing. I was joking with this post. Epstein documents reveal what evidence the government produced in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial to support their conviction. It includes victim diary entries, flight records, police reports. The GOP oversight highlighted the key sections for us in black below. And that's the joke, because it's all redacted. Like all the parts the discovery produced thus far contains only redacted. In addition, the flight records that the government touted at the bail hearing, which include redacted. The discovery also does not contain any police reports in which the people we believe to be the complainants reported the alleged crimes to law enforcement. To the contrary, the only police reports provided are exculpatory. Redacted. In summary, the discovery contains not a single contemporaneous email, text message, phone record, diary, entry, police report, or recording that implicates Ms. Maxwell in the 1994-97 conduct underlying the conspiracy. And they go into it like, the few documents in the discovery that pertain to the people we believe to be the three complainants referenced in the indictment do little, if anything, to support the government's case against Ms. Maxwell. And then it's all redacted, everything that's part of it. It's like all the meaningful stuff that we want to see is redacted. So they're not providing any further disclosure or transparency. It's just stupid. It's stupid. But they're milking it for all it's worth. Anna Paulina Luna and Nancy Mace, as the female species sometimes does. What else we got here? I do know I have more clips. I showed that. Here, let's do this. Trump posted this last night. The big question to be answered is whether or not President Xi of China will mention the massive amount of support and blood that the United States of America gave to China in order to help it to secure its freedom from a very unfriendly foreign invader. Many Americans died in China's quest for victory and glory. I hope that they are rightfully honored and remembered for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. President Donald J. Trump, as you conspire against the United States of America. Interesting thing for him to say, but he commented on it today.
I put out a truth last night. You saw that. And I was the one that brought it up. I said, they're only doing this. They're looking to, when they did what they did, I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive. But I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next week or two. I think that we helped China very much, as you know, when they talk about freedom. And I don't believe that, and maybe I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't believe that America, that the United States was acknowledged for helping China to gain its freedom. But perhaps that was just a sleight of hand. I mean, I was very surprised. I watched the speech last night. President Xi's a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China.
I wonder what he was referring to there. Because I just don't get it. Like there's always been internal struggles for power in China. But was the United States ever directly involved in them securing their freedom? And are even they free there? Like, we know what's happening to the Uyghurs, or at least we're told, things are happening to the Uyghurs over there. Are they actually, is there any form of or semblance of freedom in there? And in the 40s, we aided with like the aggression of Japan. But like the civil wars there, we didn't intervene in that. So I don't know what he's talking about, unless he's talking about something a little more recent, maybe some sovereign alliance type stuff. This is something we're going to talk about on the Power Hour tonight. And I feel like Burning Bright may have a thing or two to say. Probably only briefly, though. I doubt he'll spend too much time on it. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting comment. Because unless I'm wrong, and if you guys in the chat know something I'm not aware of, let me know. Korea, do you want to pop a sleight of hand and twist of fate? I'm trying to see. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Nobody in the chat has anything. Maybe you will. I know there's a delay. Somebody, who was that just sent that in? 848-18825 says, here's a link to the files that have been put in PDFs on JC Shepard's website. I appreciate that. I will have to download. Not a fan of downloading stuff that I don't know where it really came from. I'll have to think about that. Gizmo's mom asked Gordon. If I ask Gordon now, he'll probably finish giving me the answer by the time the show's over. Isn't he live right now anyway? He's probably talking about this already. Oh yeah, they're just finishing. So hold for processing. I could bring him on. But I'm already like halfway through the show. I think I'll probably just hold off on that. Give me a second here, guys. All right. Yeah, anyway, Laura Logan posted it. Cool. I'll check it out then. Just make sure my McAfee or whatever computer protection stuff is up to date before I do. Trump also had this to say about Putin. Oh, one more thing I wanted to address on this video where he's talking about what's going on in China. He said in the next couple of weeks, we'll see. I think it was here towards the end.
For helping China to gain its freedom. But perhaps that was just a sleight of hand. I mean, I was very surprised. I watched the speech last night. President Xi's a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been. We helped China with all of.
Maybe I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it, but he made the comment there like we'll know in the next couple of weeks, and I thought that was interesting. He's kind of putting a timeline on it. We got this too. This is regarding Putin.
I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy. And if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen. I have no.
So there's that. A couple other things he said today that I think are important. We got this talking about Supreme Court case. And yeah, there was a case. I can probably find this story here. Here we go. Appeals court strikes down Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act for deportations. A federal appeals court on Tuesday blocked President Trump from using the Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelan immigrants, ruling that the wartime law was improperly invoked, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure that only the president is allowed to determine wartime scenarios and when or what the response should be. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, in a 2-1 decision, said Trump cannot apply the 1798 statute in Texas, Louisiana, or Mississippi. The judges rejected his claim that the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua posed a predatory incursion or invasion, finding no evidence to justify the emergency powers. Judge Leslie Southwick wrote that immigrants challenging the policy are likely to succeed in demonstrating that the proclamation cannot be supported either by the existence of a declared war or an invasion. This is going to be a fun one to see go to the Supreme Court, because some of the arguments put forth by the government, and depending on the Supreme Court ruling, could tangentially offer some Devo proofs, which I'll be looking forward to. Trump last used the law in mid-March when its invocation triggered a series of legal challenges. The case first reached the Supreme Court on an emergency basis in May. While the justices allowed Trump to continue relying on the law temporarily, they required that immigrants targeted under it receive notice and a chance to challenge deportation in court. The Fifth Circuit concluded that the government's 7-day notice policy met that standard, but Judge Irma Carrillo Ramirez dissented in part, arguing that at least 21 days notice is required to ensure due process, especially for those unrepresented detainees. Tuesday's decision is expected to set up a broader Supreme Court review of Trump's authority to use the Alien Enemies Act for deportations. It's going to be very, very interesting. And this is what he said on it today.
And we have a very, very big case in the Supreme Court. I can only say this. Our country has a chance to be unbelievably rich again, but it can also be unbelievably poor again. If we don't win that case, our country is going to suffer so greatly.
What's the backup plan, sir?
But I think we're going to have a big victory. Even if you look at the people that brought the case, they're foreign-oriented. They're foreign. Countries have taken advantage of the United States for so many years, and we have a very, very...
Rise Attire makes a really good point in the chat on this. Says, a judge with 3 Spanish names should not be allowed to rule on shit like this. It's a great point, but Judge Irma Carrillo Ramirez did anyway. That's pretty funny, though. Ash's effing foreigners. What are we talking about, Fabletti? Oh, you're saying Trump was a pedophile or something? Not stupid. World War II is what Trump is griping about. Could be. Could be. He wasn't. I wish he would have been more specific, and maybe I just missed some of the context to it. And maybe you're right. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the crime situation yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. It's kind of all a blur. But we talked about the judge's ruling about Trump's use on the National Guard in California, and Trump has still been saying that, hey, we're going to do this in all these major cities. This is what he said, talking about the Democrats, the soft on crime Democrats.
This is the best issue of all. They are against preventing crime. They are fighting us. I want to go into Chicago, and I have this incompetent governor that doesn't want us. Do you know that this weekend 72 people were shot in Chicago? I'm embarrassed to say it in front of the president of Poland. 11 people were killed. 72 people were shot. Last week, 7 people were killed in Chicago, a place which is probably your number one place. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I love the polls.
And we got to keep it safe. But 7 people were killed. The week before that, 5 people were killed and 21 people were shot. This is in 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks, they lost almost 35 people were killed. It could have been stopped. If you look at Washington, D.C., 3 weeks ago, it was the same or worse. And now it's considered a totally safe zone.
Moderators, I haven't been following Fabletti or what they're saying. If they're talking about Trump being a pedo, and if they're doing it disingenuously and lying or whatever, you guys can feel free to remove them from the stream if they're trolls. If it's an earnest retard, that's different. But if they're legitimately trolling, I have no issue with you guys removing that person. Yeah, so we also have this from from this morning talking about whether or not he's going to go into some other places like Chicago.
Washington, D.C. is a totally safe city. You're not reporting any crime because there is none. They said crime is down 87%, and I said, no, it's not. It's down 100%. We have a great thing going. I could do that with Chicago. We could do that with New York. We could do it with Los Angeles. So we're making a determination now. Do we go to Chicago, or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. So we're going to be going to maybe Louisiana, and you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks, easier than D.C., but we could straighten out Chicago. All they have to do is ask us to go into Chicago if we don't have the support of some of these politicians. But I'll tell you who is supporting us, the people of Chicago. And I sort of want them to let it be known they have incompetent people.
So I do think we're going to see that. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't know if he's going to wait for some sort of legal battle to ensue at the Supreme Court and get a ruling there, or if he's just going to kind of, do what he's going to do and ask for forgiveness later. Rather ask for forgiveness than permission, some people might say. But I do see a comment in the chat. JJ Paddle. Hi, John. I'm frustrated with Trump's comment to the press today, again, about the Epstein hoax. I think if he's not more careful, he's going to lose a lot of support by not acknowledging the truth. I want to play the clip, and then I'll comment on it. Where did I put that thing? Didn't I just look this up? I just got to find it here. Hold on. Yeah, here we go.
Right now, there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massey, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be. And he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. It reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C., it's a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone. That's a term.
So he again called it a hoax, and he hasn't changed his story. He doesn't even have to comment on it, and he's not going to. Again, I want to come back to like the earnest retards thing. I see Kelly Loves Oak in the chat. I think earnest retard sounds like damning, but by extremely faint praise, damning by extremely faint praise. I think Biden could be considered an earnest retard. Yeah, I think could be a lot of people that are considered that. People who will just believe anything they hear. And a lot of people did that about the Epstein thing, not taking into account that what they're hearing may not have been true. And that is kind of what Trump is saying. He's like, it's a hoax. He is calling it the same thing that he has for a decade now called the Russia collusion hoax. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Is Trump lying? Maybe. I mean, he could be. I don't think so. We know he does psyops all the time. We talk about this all the time. We know he did this with the COVID thing. He didn't just all of a sudden figure out that the COVID situation was not what he thought it was. He didn't honestly just figure out that the vaccines were bad. Like there was some psychological warfare going on there. Psyops. It's possible he's doing that here too. And this is just to get more attention drawn to it. I can totally understand that argument, but you have to like analyze all sides of it. And it's entirely possible that what he is saying is the truth, and it is a hoax. And when he uses that word and the way he's used that with other things that we've seen over the years, he saves the word hoax for for specific things, and every single one of them have turned out to be just that. So I don't think he's going to lose support from this, though. Just like he didn't lose support from telling people that, you know, are taking responsibility for Operation Warp Speed and the vaccine or whatever. It's not real life. We do have this, though. Yesterday, I don't think I have any more clips. Let me double check. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is kind of funny. I guess I can play this.
I think the Republicans will vote for an extension. We won't have any Democrat votes. We could give the greatest budget ever. Tax cut of 50%, everybody taken care of, perfect for women, perfect for men, perfect for minorities, perfect for everything, and we wouldn't get one vote for the Democrats because they've lost their mind. They are so deranged. They have Trump derangement syndrome, and I don't want to burn the Republican Party with it, but they really are. They've become...
Yeah, Trump derangement syndrome. And you see a couple comments. Maybe he's calling for the push from the left to release everything a hoax. I can't recall hearing him ever say Epstein himself was a hoax. Rise Attire, he could do a better job at defining which part of the Epstein thing he considers a hoax and which part is legitimate. The lack of distinction is where the problem is arising from. That's true. But he might be doing that for a reason, and we don't know what it is. And so without like seeing for ourselves what information he's dealing with, like why are we going to play? Like, why are we going to guess? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just leaning his way just because I'm not emotionally invested in this case. I know there are real victims here. I'm not saying that's not true. I know there were underage women and girls who were raped. I mean, the victims were on TV today. But again, we don't know what he's considering a hoax. We don't know if he's calling it all a hoax. We don't know if he's calling aspects of it. And you're right, he hasn't clarified. And I have to imagine that's for a reason. Sometimes, you know, Trump is really good at this. Like, people want him to respond to something in a certain way and at a certain time. And typically that time is like, respond right now in the way I want you to. Respond, engage. Like, when he gets a question on it, he'll engage on his terms. And he'll respond with the actual truth of stuff when he wants to, on his terms. But he'll respond like this: it's a hoax. He might know right now the truth of it, and he could disclose which part's a hoax, which part's not. Maybe none of it is. I don't know. We don't know what he doesn't know. But he's going to be the one to dictate how this unfolds. He's not going to let anybody like force him into doing something. And because when he does that, the people who are trying to get him to respond are always the ones that are stumbling over themselves, making stupid mistakes and exposing themselves. It's the whole Sun Tzu, never interrupt an enemy when they're in the process of destroying themselves. Like, as they do it, more people get on the side of like, do the thing. And they just make themselves look like idiots. And it's ammo that he can use later to expose all those people. And it's a brilliant tactic, and he's excellent at it. So until he's ready to respond to this and show us why he's calling it a hoax, he's going to keep responding to that way, because every time he does, more people that are emotionally attached to this and want some sort of certain outcome from him are going to just go in further. They're going to double down. The people already in are going to double down, and they're going to bring other people in with them. And it takes them all down in one fell swoop. It's brilliant. Exposure drop. Let's keep going here. This Ash posted this on Colorado Free Press, and this is a really good point. She posted about it on social media yesterday too. Trump makes good on harsh measures. Space Command move is gut punch to Colorado. So as we talked about yesterday on yesterday's show, Trump is once again moving the Space Command to Huntsville, Alabama. This is something he did on January 13th, 1/13/2021, right before leaving office. The Biden administration comes in, is like, oh no, don't do that. They don't allow enough abortions in Alabama. We got to keep it in Colorado. And they did a whole DODIG investigation. We talked about it yesterday. This is another soft dev approval. We'll probably talk about it on tonight's show. But anyway, this goes back to something that Trump posted back in August 21st. This is a Truth Social post from Reuters reporting the move. The move, first reported on Tuesday morning by Reuters, benefits a state that overwhelmingly supported Trump's 3 Republican presidential bids at the expense of one that opposed them, at the expense of Colorado. Remember this? Donald Trump August 21st. Free Tina Peters, a brave and innocent patriot who has been tortured by crooked Colorado politicians, including the big mail-in ballot supporting the governor of the state. Let Tina Peters out of jail right now. She did nothing wrong except catching the Democrats cheat in the election. She's an old woman and very sick. She's not released. I'm going to take harsh measures. Then she goes on. Removing Space Command from Colorado is definitely a harsh measure. U.S. Space Command employs approximately 1,700 people in Colorado Springs. The Denver Metro Chamber of Commerce estimates that Space Command supports an additional 1,400 direct jobs in the region. Beyond jobs, Space Command contributes $1 billion annually to the Colorado Springs economy, including direct spending by the command, salaries of employees, and indirect economic activity, like all those employees patronizing local businesses. So she brings a good point. Is it possible that this move... Oh, did I not even share the screen? Oh, I did. Okay, never mind. Is it possible that this move was related? It could be. Okay, somebody in the chat is big mad. Shovel wrench. I'm not going to watch or like this one. Why? Because you'll raid Breaking History. Breaking History is over, by the way. Since I'm just getting on here, that will kick me and I'll lose my spot here. F this stupid raid, John. For those who are emotionally damaged by the raid feature on Rumble, I would encourage you to go to rumble.com. On the top right, you click this little icon, your icon, and click account options. Okay. And the bottom on here, you can select somewhere on here. I don't know where it's at, but you can here automatically join raids. You can automatically join raids or not. Check that off and you're fine. So you never have to blame me again. This is on you now. Ridiculous. People get so mad about the weirdest things. We got this. Oh yeah, this is a biggie. This is really cool. I just gotta pull it up. Chris Pavlovsky on Twitter says, I'm hearing that no tax on tips will cover tips for streamers and creators. President Trump is going to fuel the creator economy. And then there's a section in here. They put out the whole list of things that are affected by the no tax on tips situation. Occupations that customarily and regularly receive tips on or before December 31st, 2024. And then if you scroll down to right here, digital content creators produce and publish on digital platforms original entertainment or personality-driven content, such as live streams, short-form videos, or podcasts. So this will be a pretty cool move. I wonder if it'll work for like subscriptions too, like you subscribe on Substack or subscribe to Rumble. Just now the text, why does John hate people who are bad at settings? I don't hate her. I don't hate whoever that was. Maybe it's a guy. I just think it's funny when people get mad at me when the thing is their fault. Like they do the thing. The reason the raid happens is because they didn't check the right box. They didn't do their due diligence. Yet they're mad at me for. It's like when people yell at me like, hey man, why is this show so loud or whatever? It's like, I can't control your volume knob for you. You control the volume of your devices. I can control the volume of my like input here, and I try to keep it steady and consistent. And I'm getting better at it. But ultimately, if something's too loud, you just turn it down. It's the same thing with this. It's up to you. The choice to raid will be yours and is yours. Anyway, Chris again on Twitter. Rumble will be the best place for creators to generate revenue on their content, enabled by tips, cash, Bitcoin, USDT, Tether, subs, programmatic ads, and live sponsorship reads. No platform has this comprehensive strategy. Very excited about this. I've spoken to Chris a few times. We're going to be one of the early, like, we probably won't be first because we're not the highest on Rumble's totem pole. We get that. They have some big names, but as soon as they unleash the wallet aspect, or Badlands is in. We're adopting that. So looking forward to it. It's supposed to be the summer. I think a few things got slowed down maybe, but we'll see what happens. This was interesting. President Putin, and I don't know if there's a translator on this video, but President Putin confirms that Steve Witkoff reliably conveys the U.S. position. Putin says that people who criticize Witkoff are simply against President Trump's peacemaking efforts. That is an interesting statement for him to be making.
And I'm convinced that Mr. Witkoff conveys the information in this context with me and with other members of the Russian leadership that is it originates from the US president, not anything else. And our talks in Anchorage showed, it was clear from the context of our talks, that information is relayed quite correct.
Interesting stuff. I've seen some comments from the chat here. Imagine coming into the chat and saying, I'm not liking or watching. Like, okay, but you're here watching, though. That's a great point, Ash. New case, I control the volume, turn it to 11. Hell yeah. Spetzel, you've been in this relationship long enough to know that you're always to blame. I get blamed for a lot of things. I take all the slings and blame for you and everybody. I take full responsibility for you not fully researching your options on Rumble setting, a platform that I don't even own. I just stream to. I don't own StreamYard. I don't own Rumble. I don't own your phone. I don't own your access to the internet. I don't own any of that, but it is my fault. You're right. Totally right. Breaking History rated you, John. I love it. Yourself, hose. So funny. G Fontes 119. Don't touch my knob. Not all of you, but almost. Rise Attire. John, you just burned my tongue because my soup was way too hot. I'm never watching this show again. That you have a legal case, probably. Just sue me, man. Ash 1776. John, how dare you not personally set viewer settings for them? I don't know how anybody will ever recover from this, and I deeply apologize for those who just don't like me for whatever reason. Jealousy, me not controlling their user settings. If only I had. I guess I don't even know. I don't even know what to say there. Apple's stock is up 9% after Google avoids breakup in antitrust case. There's been a few lawsuits with Alphabet, Google, Chrome, whatever, and Apple, I guess, too. But the judge in this case, Judge Amit Mehta, I wonder if he's here on an H-1B visa, ruled that the most severe consequences that were proposed by the DOJ should not go through. He did rule they hold an illegal monopoly in its core market of internet search last year, but we don't need to do anything. You guys can stay. Google will not have to divest Chrome. You can still make payments to companies to preload products. You just can't have exclusive contracts that condition payments or licensing. I don't know if they can challenge this ruling, the DOJ or something, because it seems very beneficial to Google, but maybe it is legit. I didn't read any of the cases, it's just newsworthy. Senator Rand Paul blasts Trump's stake in Intel as a step towards socialism. I'm going to blast Senator Rand Paul's comment in this article as a step towards retardation. We'll keep going here because we're almost out of time. World's largest sovereign wealth fund invests $543 million in Manhattan office building. Norway's $2 trillion sovereign wealth fund has announced a $542 million investment in prime Manhattan real estate. We'll see the fund take a 95% stake in an office building at 1177 Avenue of Americas in New York City. Is this is that the building that the shooter shot up? Maybe I'm wrong. What was the name of the building where the NFL offices were located? Okay, they're at Park Avenue. Never mind. Brad's probably sleeping. Get Brad on. He knows NYC. Just ask Brad. I'll ask him later. But no, does not appear to be the same building. But anyway, another country buying up a foreign building. I don't know how I feel about that. I wish they'd ban that shit. Maine mass shooting survivors to file negligence lawsuit against the U.S. government. That's interesting. Man, I didn't get through everything I wanted to get through today. But you know what? Sometimes that's okay. We'll have more to discuss tomorrow. And some of the more interesting things we can probably cover tonight on the Devolution Power Hour. Me and Bernie Bright, like I said, we got a pretty good show planned. Looking forward to it. So do me a favor, everybody, hit that thumbs up if you don't mind. Tune in tonight on the Devolution Power Hour, but stick around Badlands all day because we have a whole bunch of content coming out today. We got, let me list it off for you. Book club was last night's story hour. Shipwreck show is going live at I think 8 p.m. Eastern. We have Altered State at 9 p.m. Eastern, then Power Hour, and then Rattlergator Report. Or sorry, Where We Go One, We Go All after dark. Rattlergator Report is back in the mix now. He's back from his time off. So yeah, guys, we shall see you tonight. 2,300 watching. Good crowd. Thanks, guys. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. We'll catch y'all. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't know what it is. Hence the forgetting. Oh, the rants. I could probably do that real quick. Scheisler, $20. Thank you, Scheisler. So good to see you in Deadwood. Thanks for providing such great products with soft disclosure. Also, thanks for everything you do. Appreciate that. And wish you guys luck on your move. It'll be fun being next to those grandkids closer to them. Herold Patriot, John, have you ever tried to do an interview with Devin Nunez? He's trying to promote a new wine and is doing some interviews. Thank you for the rant. I'll try to reach out, see what I can pull together. Worth a shot. Not much of a wino. Maybe Brian would want to interview him. He's definitely more into wine. I'd love to interview him for topics unrelated to wine, like Russiagate stuff. But if he only wants to talk wine, that's not up my alley. But I'll see what I can do. Thank you for the rant. With that, everybody, I will see you later tonight. Hit that thumbs up, and we'll catch you later.
Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.